jacket off. I still had my dress shirt on.
Right.
When he was done freezing me, okay, putting the needles in, it had to be big needles because of the Novocaine was thick, or it was called this, I don't know, somehow 6-hour block.
Right.
It had to go up through the bottom and down to the top to freeze it. I got up, and the paper from the table, you know, that you're on,
yeah,
stuck to my back. We go out that night, we beat Hartford 4-0. But I'm going to tell you, you want to talk about pain? There you have it.
That's got to be the worst pain that you could possibly...
But you know what? You do it because that's your job. That's your job.
Was it difficult for you to miss that Edmonton game? I mean, mentally? Because...
You don't think about it because anytime you're injured, you hate being out.
Right.
You know, there's just... If you're not playing, you feel useless.
Mm.
I don't care who you are and what you're doing. I mean, I guess some guys wouldn't. But on that team, if you weren't contributing, you felt useless.
Right. Was it tough to watch that game?
I'm going to tell you, my emotions were not so much involved with the game.
You lost somebody who you cared for.
Right. Well, yeah. A guy, I don't know how you put this, but now I look at other pastors and there's a fraternity. There's a goalie that lost his life.
Yeah.
No longer, was there. It's tragic. So I can't remember. I can't remember a whole lot about that time. I remember the loss of life.
Yeah. Were the players? I mean, sorrow obviously was the overwhelming feeling, but was there anger? No.
Not that I know of.
You know, guys saying, "Why would he throw it away?"
Well, no, but no one ever said that. Because you know what? Because if we were ever going to point the finger like that, or in any shape or form, we were pointing right at us.
Wow.
Hey, we were all. I don't care what. Anyone who says we weren't, they're not telling the truth. We were all in the same boat. Any one of us could have been there. You know what I mean? Anyone that could have happened to any one of us.
And some of the guys were under drinking age, right?
Because it wasn't a big thing to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know how to say it, but
well, as a pro athlete, you're going to be able to do what you want to do.
Yeah. And it's probably a lot different now. I don't know. I just know what it was like there. I'm going to tell you, Philadelphia was the. I mean, I only know of 2 cities that I played in, but Philadelphia was the very best place you could ever play. I mean, they treated us like gold. I can't imagine ever being treated better.
Really?
Mr. Snyder, right on down. I mean, just, how many times you have your owner coming in after a game, telling you good job, knows you by name, and, it was phenomenal.
Their tremendous passion.
Yep.
That's amazing.
You know what? He set the bar high, and it just carried on down.
And the Flyers as a team have been close so many times. It's just a shame that, even 80...
Another Lindbergh or Perrant, that's what they need. You know what I mean?
Do you still watch today?
No.
No.
I don't have the time.
Yeah, I'm sure, yeah.
And you know what? When I watched, when it was, guys I played with playing,
right.
It meant a lot more. Without knowing the players, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, I'm sure that makes a difference. How has Pelle's life and death affected the way you preside over your congregation?
I am always 1 or 2 decisions away from doing something really stupid. Life is fragile.
Right.
And I would say that week on Tuesday, Pelle asked me what it meant to be a Christian.
Pelle asked you that?
Because there was a guy on TV who was, I don't know, someone had just got caught, one of these church ministers or TV ministers that got caught doing something or something like that.
Oh, like the Jimmy Swagger type thing.
Like that.
Yeah.
So he asked me. And I just kind of laughed it off. Well, let me tell you, this is not something that I'm proud of. But I promised, I vowed to God I would then preach Christ. Given the opportunity, I would explain to someone what it meant to be a follower of Jesus Christ.
And this was the Tuesday before his accident?
Yep.
Wow.
Of that one.
Wow.
You always think you have more time, don't you?
Sure.
Be ready in season and out of season. Convince, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering.
Wow.
It changed my life.
Is that, now, were you a very religious person before that?
I was raised, what do you say, a good Christian home as opposed to a bad Christian home. I was raised by a mother who brought us to church.
Right.
But hockey was my God. After that, I would say Jesus Christ jumped on, or I allowed Jesus Christ to be thrown into my life. My life changed drastically.
And that was the moment?
Yep.
Wow.
That Sunday. Was the first day I ever took a look at my life instead of my goaltending techniques.
So Pelle Lindbergh had a profound effect in your life. Unbelievable.
Life-changing.
And it's incredible. He wasn't a person who you would consider a best friend or somebody that you consider a real close friend before.
You know what? I think sometimes the people that have had the most profound effect in my life haven't always been my friends. My friends are, it's the people that have done something or have been something that I highly respect. I might not even know them.
Right.
Spurgeon, I don't know who, I'd never met him.
Mm-hmm.
Charles Haddon Spurgeon. But I tell you what, by reading about who he was and how he lived his life, profound effect. Jesus Christ, the Apostle Paul, Pelle Lindbergh had a profound effect on my life. I'm just so thankful that in that last week, that Saturday or whatever it was, Saturday or Sunday before, that we had done what we had done, that we had spent that time together.
And this is the first time you ever talked about that? That story? You never...
Other than my wife.
Really?
My wife knows because I had promised my wife, because we weren't real good boys that night. All right? We didn't win any medals for Men of the Year.
Sure.
So that's when I promised my wife I would slow down.
Yeah.
Who would know the next week? His car was in the shop that week.
Was it really?
The weekend before, and I had driven.
Right.
So who would know the next week if, crazy, eh?
That's just unbelievable. That's unreal. Now, you mentioned early, when we just started talking, there's been a lot of interest. Have there been a lot of people calling you lately? Or?
People have called or something like that. I don't know why. And then I got yours, you know what I mean? And, yeah.
That's odd, because
I don't know why I thought, is there an anniversary or something?
Well, it's 20 years.
Yeah, okay.
I've been doing this for about a year and a half, actually.
Right.
Trying to, collect information.
It's really interesting, It's going to be really interesting because if you follow it, he's a likable guy. Little, just a little Swede. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A little pudgy Swede. But I'm telling you what, he was a likable guy.
That's what everybody says.
Yeah.
And even the fans. There was a lady, I don't know, did you know Kim Sparks?
I probably did. I don't know.
She was president of the fan club.
Okay.
She came to every one of your practices.
Right.
And apparently he would talk to her after every practice.
Yeah.
Just because he felt sorry for her because, she seemed like a loner and somebody who really didn't have a lot of people around her.
No, I'm telling you. I'm telling you what, I can't remember many boneheads on that team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a good bunch of guys. Whoever put the team together knew what they were doing. It was a good bunch of guys.
Well, McCammon did a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bob McCammon, most of the players were either drafted or signed.
Yeah. I'm telling you what, they didn't call him cagey for anything. Cagey understood things like that. I don't know all what happened, but, I think but I think he was a sharp guy.
Yeah, he did put together a hell of a team. I mean, you guys were just amazing.
Yep.
Bob, are there any other stories that you would want to be in a book about Pelle Lindbergh? Anything that you could think of that would be pertinent? Or about your life with Pelle, or
Belly. I think, you know how I picture him? Is us sitting at that restaurant in Los Angeles in the hotel after going back, and him with that rag on top of his head. You know, he took the cloth napkin and put it on top of his head. You know, he was just, it's so weird, because he was from so far away, you know, and yet he was right there. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but he was from such a different world than the one I was raised in.
And he was hurt deeply by...
Yeah, but we both had the same passion for the same position.
Right.
We were so different and so much in love with the same thing.
Yeah.
And
it's just a shame there's one net. I mean, if you're a defenseman...
That's the game.
Yeah.
You know, and you know that when you sign up. And so, if there was two nets, there might not be the competition that there is.
That's true.
And you need competition. Now, competition doesn't mean you slam the other guy. Competition means you work hard. Mark Howe was a great worker. You know, he was competitive. Taught us all how to work harder.
Right.
Just those are the type. That's what competition means. Competitive guys, not yelling at the ref and all these other things.
Yeah, I mean, and he came from great stock too. I mean, it's, you know.
Yeah, not bad. What do you think?
Yeah.
You know, I just, you know, my son was in love with Pelle Lindbergh.
Really?
Yeah, just loved Pelle, and thought he was just a great goalie. He'd come to the games and wear you know, one of those, like, you know, masks. What's it called? You know, the axe murder or whatever.
Yeah, the fiberglass. Yeah.
Wear the mask because Pelle wore that kind of mask.
Wow.
And so it was hard, you know. But
how old was your son at the time?
He's been 4.
Wow. He was a little boy.
But he still talks about, you know, he'll still every once in a while talk about Pelle.
Really?
Yeah. But it's in one way it's a shame, but in another way, I'm telling you what, this guy could play. He could play. You know, he could just flat out play.
If he would have lived, how?
That's the interesting question.
Yeah.
How good?
Did he reach the pinnacle, or was he going to continue to rise?
No, I'm going to continue right. Well, I'll tell you why. I'll give you some ingredients. Okay.
Yeah.
Philadelphia Flyers, an owner committed, GM, coach who could bring out the best in that individual,
right,
and a great team who was young and committed to hard work. So do I think they? Yeah, without a doubt.
You think there were Stanley Cups in the future?
Yep. That's my opinion. It's easy to say.
Right.
But who won the cups? You know what I mean? Who won those cups? Well, different teams and stuff like that. Edmonton wasn't bad.
Yeah, Edmonton won a few of them.
Yeah. But I think, you know, it buckled our knees.
Sure.
No one complained, but it was always there.
Was it when you left and you went to the Rangers? You talked about how close knit you were with the Flyers.
Yep.
How hard was that to leave that and to play on another team?
Tough.
I'm sure.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what.
You had to miss them, right?
Dave Brown, who's one of my closest friends in the team, cross-checked a guy named Thomas Sandstrom.
I remember that.
Okay. And after the game, they wanted me. They were calling for Brownie's head. They came up and got a hold of me, ex-Flyer, you know.
Yeah.
And I said, Dave Brown's one of the best guys I've ever met in my life. He is a man of character, and I would love to play on Dave Brown's team any day of the week. Yeah, I got so much trouble for that.
Sure.
But I'm going to tell you, that's the thing. We hung in there with each other. Even when it meant we might alienate ourselves.
Right.
Is that a team or what?
That really is a team.
Yeah. That's the type of guys we had on the team.
So it was right before Christmas you got traded that year, right?
Yeah, December 18th.
Yeah, I mean, how was it just terrible to leave, or did you feel relief because you were
Well, I think
you were out from under Keenan?
You want to play.
Yeah.
And then I went to New York and I played that year. You know, I basically outplayed, that year, Van Beesbrook.
Right.
but I wasn't going to get caught up. And like I say, my life changed drastically. You got to understand that my life changed drastically.
Only 1 year before.
With Pelle's death.
Right, which was just a year before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't going to be. I wasn't going to get into the. I don't know. What do you want to say? Dogfight. The game didn't have the hold on me that it had prior to that.
Did that hurt you as a goaltender or not?
No, I don't think hurt me. I don't think that. I just think I looked at things a lot different. I've looked at things a lot differently ever since that day.
Wow.
Yeah, I would say well. And, am I thankful? Yeah. But it's a pretty expensive cost, don't you think?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's...
Devastating.
Yeah, and, you look at all the lives that he touched, yours, mine, and I didn't even know the guy. I was 10 years old. But then even the people that, the guy who he gave his heart to that lived another 5 years.
Yeah, and which, whatever. I mean, but I always think of Pelle as in the decisions he made living, in that. So.
Right.
What's that?
No, I said that's right. He consciously. Would you say he was a little boy in a man's body?
We all were. Don't ever kid yourself.
Really?
No, maturity wasn't the operative word.
Sudsy Settlemyer told me about the crossbows that he used to like to shoot.
Yeah.
He would go into the woods and...
He did some weird things.
Yeah.
He came from a different culture than we did. You know what I mean? He had some weird pranks or weird things he had. Just very superstitious. Unbelievable.
Really?
He could work his own equipment like crazy. Better than Sudsy could, that's for sure.
Wow.
But Sudsy knew him really well.
Yeah, I had a chance to speak with him. It was really interesting, the insight.
Sudsy knew him really well. You know who I would... I don't know if you can get a hold of KG.
Bob McCammon?
Yeah.
Is he with I don't know if you know, I think he's with Detroit as a...
Yeah. The last time I heard he was. But he knew Pelle really well, too.
Really?
Yep. He knew Pelle, and he could give you more of a... When Pelle came over and he was more naive and innocent.
Right, when he was a kid.
Yeah. He just came over and said, KG really